Hi, and welcome to the Practical Ascension podcast. I'm your Practical Ascension guide, Tracy Goody. Today, I'm exploring the energy of feeling deflated as a light worker, feeling like your balloon just does not have the air you know it could have or you feel it once had. So when I'm feeling into this energy and the way my guides have brought it through, as I'm seeing it represented visually through two types of balloons. And I know these balloons very well, although I've not seen them as balloons before. Balloon number one is like a latex balloon, like, what you would think of as like a balloon, right? So this represents your feelings of connection, your purpose, your creativity, openness, and this is centered mainly in the heart area and the sacral. When this balloon is deflated, we might feel more of a disconnection, depression energy. So balloon number two is a foil balloon. And this is the balloon that I'm focused more so on today. And this is the balloon, you would see like filled with helium, right? And my guides are really bringing this up as a priority for me to focus on through this podcast today, and then many other teachings that I'm offering right now. It's like an insane flow from my guides, just nonstop about this topic right now. So this foil balloon represents your capacity, your expression, your earth connection, and is centered mainly in the solar plexus, throat, and root chakra. When this balloon deflates, we might feel anxiety. We may also find that things are just not moving forward. And this is due in part to the fact that this balloon and our nervous system feel worn. They're not all the way up to where the ascension energies that we are attempting to ground are at. So we don't have the capacity to keep going the same way that we have been. Our energy and bodies are really asking for nurturing and a shift that is going to allow this balloon to reinflate and bring us back to our natural buoyancy. So over the last 5 years, I was being invited to upgrade both of these balloons. I was being gifted messages from my nervous system that really reached a boiling point with a deep nervous system initiation a little over a year ago. So for the years before that, both balloons were slowly deflating, but it was subtle enough that I kept going. I kind of like chalked it up to like ascension symptoms or, felt like, I can just keep going through this. It's fine. It's no big deal. So it wasn't until I felt the full deflation that I really learned to listen to my body and energy system on a new level. It took a massive nervous system break to get my full attention. And in hindsight, this was really exactly what I needed to get into the depths of this deflation energy so that I could observe it and learn to rebuild and reinflate that nervous system and capacity. So as a teacher, I go through these initiations and it's all good. As I continued on my journey, I came back to my natural state of receptivity, creativity, openness, expression, and back onto this pathway of service and spiritual expansion. I was in a physical and energy body that once again had the capacity for these things where the capacity just wasn't there before. So when you're expanding your capacity to receive in any level, it's beneficial to take the physical body and specifically the nervous system into consideration. In my experience, it's a direct physical correlation that will allow or disallow energetic upgrades and quantum leaps in potential. So as with everything I explore, I found that increasing your capacity and inflating your balloon has a physical aspect, a mental aspect, and an energetic aspect. The physical aspect relates to emotions, energies, and belief systems stored in the body. The mental aspects relates to both the conscious and subconscious ways of thinking, beliefs, and inherited patterns. And then the energetic aspect relates to what's stored in your Akashic field, as well as how energy flows or stagnates in your body. So all of this is shifting. What worked for us years ago, and I know what worked for me years ago, needs to upgrade. As we continue on our spiritual path, that light quotient, the amount of light we can hold, creates shifts in our bodies. So our physical bodies need to shift as well. Our mental bodies become more transparent, and our energy bodies really are becoming more refined, so that densities that didn't bother us before suddenly will just stop us in our tracks. So I can remember at like certain points in my healing journey, I felt like there was no longer a barrier of any kind between like my subconscious and my soul memories and what I was feeling in my body. It's actually pretty trippy. So everything felt like it was on the surface and everything was there at once. So it was big. It felt as though there was, just psychedelics, coursing through my system all the time, which wasn't the case. This was just my reality. So this was extremely challenging in the moment, and I enlisted all the help I can get. Even at one point, I called a crisis hotline just to have somebody listen and reassure me I was not dying. Though they're probably thinking, maybe you're dying. But this was more of an extreme version of a nervous system initiation. Again, I leaned towards the extreme feeling side of things so that I can make quick leaps in understanding and really get into what it takes to heal so I can be this practical ascension guide. In the moment, it felt quite challenging, but I was also always acting as the observer and taking note of what helped me and what did not help me every step of the way. So this expanding capacity and nervous system upgrade may resonate with you and maybe what you've been experiencing or moving through. Maybe your balloon is starting to deflate, or maybe you're getting close to that boiling point where you have no choice but to create a change in a more nurturing environment for the shifts happening in your physical and energy bodies. So if this is the case, I encourage you to check out the recent work that I'm doing in this area. As I said, my guides are just like really flowing through an abundance of these teachings, workshops, and healings to assist this pathway. So you can take a look through my website and see what jumps out. But what I really encourage you to look at, and the links for this will be in the show notes below, is either the Recalibrate workshop, which has flowed through as like a training session really focused on the nervous system and practical actions, as well as a guided shamanic healing journey that Chiron came through for, which is cool because I've not worked with that energy before, but it's the energy of the healed healer. Really, really cool. So either that one, or if you want to go into it a little bit deeper, Harmonize, which is my 9-session workshop and energy healing practice that's really going to assist your nervous system and energy body to get back to that state of balance with all of these new energies that are now flowing to the surface. So if you're resonating with that, check out the links in the show notes below, and make sure that you're reaching out to somebody if you're feeling this deflation of either balloons, whether that be me or somebody else. When you start to have that sense of connection, you start to immediately rebuild yourself. All right, thank you so much for joining me today.